Welcome to Chesapeake Weekly. Well, we've got great news this week about Chesapeake Public Schools. All 45 schools have been accredited by the Virginia Department of Education. Accreditation ratings reflect achievements and growth in English, math, and science standards of learning, as well as other school quality indicators. This is a great achievement that benefits not only the school division, but everyone living in Chesapeake.
Well, for us, it's exciting because we want all of our schools to meet the state benchmarks, and it's really through hard work of our students, our staff, our teachers, and our parents who provide support, as well as our community leaders who provide support to each and every one of our schools. So really it's an effort across the board for our whole community. We like to tell them that what we're doing is making a difference, but really it's about meeting the needs of each and every child every day, and that requires hard work. And that also requires funding and support, which we would need regardless of how they're doing, but it certainly helps because we want all of our students to be successful, and we need the right people in place and the right supports in place for our students to meet their highest potential, which is really a part of our strategic plan, Empower 2025.
The Chesapeake Public School bus fleet has more than doubled since it moved into its current transportation facility, leading to many challenges. A new joint project between the city and the schools will build upon an already growing partnership between the two, which makes both parties more efficient and more effective.
Our current fleet is at 583 buses. When our facility that we're operating out of now was built, we had a fleet of 200. Our facility certainly has not grown with the fleet, and as a result of that, we have to send buses to outside vendors to be repaired because we just simply don't have the maintenance space to keep up with our DOE required preventive maintenance schedules.
This is a much needed project because we need more space, particularly for maintenance of our buses and transportation facility. It just clearly cannot accommodate all the buses that we have. So this is really going to open up doors for us to be much more efficient. We're also going to have office spaces for our transportation staff in there as well. I mean, our building that they currently are working in was built many, many years ago, and it's long overdue for an upgrade and new expanded space. We talked about the number of buses that have grown over the years.
Currently, both the city and schools outsource a lot of the preventative maintenance on solid waste trucks and on school buses, and this project will allow more of that work to be done by city and school employees, which will save the taxpayers money.
We have these listening and learn sessions throughout the community so that we can make sure that they are aware and that they also have some input. They can weigh in and give opinions.
We continue our coverage this week on mental health and the epidemic of suicide in our country. Now, for those concerned about a loved one's mental health, the sense of responsibility can be emotionally draining. So it's important for caretakers and loved ones of those who suffer to remember to take care of themselves and to seek out reputable resources to help them help others.
A great resource that I love is Psychology Today. There are really feasible articles that help you to learn different warning signs, short articles. NAMI of Coastal Virginia is a great resource. They host many different small educational training courses where you can come and you're not having to spend a lot of your time in learning different things like this, different warning signs that you can see. And you know, if you're not necessarily facing a struggle of your own, but you're concerned about the people in your life, it's still a great reason to see a therapist. See a therapist, talk about what's going on in your life and the lives of the people around you, because oftentimes if we don't know how to have good emotional boundaries with the people in our lives, their struggles can become our burdens, so knowing how to manage that.
Chesapeake is a military community, and that's something we take great pride in, but not every veteran moves on from their service to lead a cushy, easy life. Too many veterans end up homeless. Thanks to community partnerships from all over the region, a new project is currently underway that will provide affordable housing for disabled and homeless veterans.
Well, back in 2014, we had constructed Cypress Landing apartments in the city of Virginia Beach, and that is permanent supportive housing that provides housing for 32 homeless and disabled veterans. And it just so happens that on move-in day, we were having a celebration, and we had invited members of the Chesapeake City Council and city staff to attend that move-in day celebration. And from that grew an interest in the city of Chesapeake to provide a similar apartment complex in their city. And so back in 2014, they brought the right people to the table, and that included Virginia Beach Community Development Corporation and Second Act Communities. And from there, discussions began, and there was just an overwhelming support. They helped to pull of all the partners together. And then from there, we started to put together a pro forma, how much would it cost, and start to look for a site. The city of Chesapeake was able to find a site for us, and then we assembled all of the financing from multiple different sources to make the project a reality.
Many veterans leave their service severely wounded, making returning to civilian life even harder. Veteran T. Shane Johnson recently visited Chesapeake as part of his Hike Across America tour, a trek down the East Coast to raise $1 million for the Gary Sinise Foundation's RISE program.
And if you've never been in a situation where you've truly struggled, I've truly struggled, it is really hard to relate to people who have been in that position.
I found a need in the veteran community where leadership needed to be a little stronger and family values needed to be a little bit stronger. And over the course of 3 years, coming from someone who's been through being homeless for 2 years as a veteran and then building 3 companies at over $40 million a year in sales, I thought it was important to kind of create a lead type platform versus a lead follow. So I wanted to get out there from the front and inspire those veterans to say, listen, we've got all the tools and resources that we learned in the military, we need to apply them out into the civilian community. In America today, we need as much leadership as possible, whether it be in our family, in our business, within the community. But the best thing I can say is in the veteran community, we need to start, doubling down on ourselves and getting out there and being stronger pillars of the community versus being more victim approach. We need to be show everybody that we lead from the front and that we're the spearhead of the country, and that when we get out, we can also do the same thing in the civilian world.
Learn more about his mission and how you can support him by visiting hikeacrossamerica.com. Landlords and rental property owners play a big role in making Chesapeake a great place to live, and they can also play a role in disaster recovery. In an effort to bolster this important part of our community, several city departments got together to host a resource workshop for landlords, during which they learned the legal and community rules and resources available to them here in Chesapeake.
We saw an opportunity to come together and have a joint workshop to potentially reach more landlords and provide them with important information and responsibilities about being a landlord, as well as hopefully recruiting them for emergency preparedness and disaster recovery efforts, as well as for the Housing Authority's Housing Choice Voucher program.
One of our critical goals at the Housing Authority is to increase our landlord participation within our Housing Choice Voucher and other programs, and it really just to make sure that as a city we have the strongest landlords that we can have and maximum participation. And so today is an event to hopefully provide some resources to those landlords, but also to hopefully increase participation.
The real estate assessor's job is to fairly distribute taxes among all property owners based on the market value of their property. Basically, they use that market value to determine the value of your property, for which you are then taxed proportionately. So you'll be happy to hear that the real estate assessor has earned a certificate that fewer than 50 localities in all of North America have earned.
We think this is a very big honor for our department. It does show that we met a very rigorous test by the International Association in various categories, anything from how we budget to how we do analysis work, how we do our valuations, etc. So we're very proud of the honor. They were looking at just about every category of what we do on a daily basis. So we had to answer questions about how we do assessments, how we do mapping, how we process customer service, the budgeting aspect of our department. It was very, very detailed. And 15 out of our 29 staff members actually contributed to the research and the work. It took us about 6 months from start to finish to actually submit this. And it's a very rigorous program, and we have to recertify every 5 years.
AskHRGreen.org, your regional go-to source for all things green, is hosting a rain barrel workshop through their Baystar Homes program. On Saturday, October 26th at 10 a.m., learn about the benefits of rain barrels, and for just $20, make one of your own to bring home. The event is at Deep Creek Rec Center, and space is limited, so you must register by visiting AskHRGreen.org/fall2019. Registration is open until spots fill up, so be sure you act fast. The next Chesapeake Recycles Day event is coming up this Saturday, October 12th, from 9 to noon at Greenbrier Mall. You'll find them in the parking lot adjacent to River Bridge Run. Bring your old electronics for recycling, household hazardous waste for proper disposal, and sensitive documents for shredding. There are limitations as to how much you can bring, and they will only accept personal items, no business items. For more details on what's accepted, just visit cityofchesapeake.net/recyclesday. On Saturday, October 19th, the Parks, Recreation, and Tourism Department is hosting their last Movie and More series of the year with a showing of How to Train Your Dragon 3 at Elizabeth River Park starting at 6. As the title suggests, it's much more than just a movie. Enjoy ongoing activities such as inflatables, face painting, and arts and crafts. The movie will start just after sunset. Bring a blanket or lawn chair, but please leave your tents and oversized umbrellas at home so that everyone can have a good view of the movie. For more information, visit cityofchesapeake.net/PRT events. The library is super excited to host their very first Muggle Masquerade, which is a play off the beloved Harry Potter series. The October 19th event will bring the book to life for adults and children 12 and up. Chesapeake Television's Jim Hazel recently hosted an episode of Peak Life that shares all you need to know about this event. Find that show on our YouTube page at Chesapeake Television. You can also visit the Library Foundation's website, lovemylibrary.net, for more information. A quick reminder that time is running out to register to vote or to update your registration for the November 5th election. You must register by October 15th. That includes new registrations and updated registrations for anyone who's recently moved. It's quick and easy to do. You can do it online at elections.virginia.gov, in person at the voter registrar's office or any Chesapeake Public Library, or by mail using an application you can get online or at any Chesapeake City Treasurer's office. You can learn all about voting in Chesapeake, including where to vote, at cityofchesapeake.net/vote. And before we go, we want to remind you that Monday, October 14th is Columbus Day, so all city offices, courts, and libraries will be closed. Chesapeake community centers will be open, but only from 2 to 6 p.m. There will be no changes to the trash or recycling collection schedules, and all normal hours will resume on Tuesday, October 15th. Well, that's Chesapeake Weekly. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you next week.
Grease fires are not like regular fires. If you try to put them out with a fire extinguisher or water, you can actually make it worse. Make sure you have the lid nearby that you can smother the fire.
Turn off the burner. Do not move the pan or the lid until everything has cooled. Then douse everything in cold water before throwing it away.
Inspect your stovetop to make sure there's no permanent damage. And if a fire starts in your oven, turn off the heat, keep the door closed until it's cool. Then have it checked or serviced before using it again. Stay safe in the kitchen.
It's fun to cook with kids, but hot surfaces can be very dangerous. You want to keep a kid-free zone at least 3 feet away from the stove. Never cook while holding a child. Turn your pans inward so toddlers cannot pull it down on them. Keep your pets away from the countertops in the stove area. Right, Sparky?
Stay safe in the kitchen.
Heating equipment is the #1 cause of structure fires in the United States. The Chesapeake Fire Department would like to remind you to have your chimneys and furnaces inspected by qualified personnel, maintain a 3-foot clearance against all portable heating devices, and never use your oven to heat your home. The leading cause of kitchen fires is unattended cooking.
Always stand by your pan.
Keep anything flammable like oven mitts or wooden utensils away from the stovetop at all times.
Wear short or tight-fitted sleeves to avoid loose clothing catching fire.
If a fire does start and you can't get it under control, get out and call 911.
Stand by your pan.